Here we go. Today we are here. No losses, just lessons with Mike Trigg.
Saba Baptiste.
I want to kind of go on records and correct something. I think the last podcast that we had, you asked me a question about which one of my kids do I see most in me, and I named 3 of them. But I have 4 kids, and now all of my sons are have a part of me. And I think Shane, I said Mike and Mikhail, talking third person, they're more like me in that retrospect. DJ, he's the oldest, and he kind of sees life as I see it today.
Right.
But my son Shane, he's a gifted artist. He's a rapper. He's a great writer. Mm-hmm. I think he's one of the smartest kids in the mm-hmm. family. And I didn't want to leave him out, but he's the life of the party.
Okay.
In that retrospect, so I just want to bring that to the forefront. Shane, I'm sorry if I didn't mean anything by it. I love you. And he never said anything to me about it. I saw the podcast mm-hmm. and I felt impelled to correct it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Right. That's very good. Very good. Oh, so today what we're going to do, we're going to have a unique discussion, and this discussion is going to be related to everyday practice, and it's going to start with a Bible verse. So we're talking today about relationships between sons and their mothers, or specifically just talking about the sons and parents, and then specifically the mothers. What kind of relationship that's coming out of that? And I want to kind of land with it by reading a verse from the Bible. Okay? And before I get to the verse from the Bible, I want to say this podcast is information purposes only and should not be used to harm or offend anyone or anybody.
Right, educational purposes.
Right.
We all trying to learn from it.
Right.
And grow and gather something from it.
Right.
Positive.
Right.
Put out love, not hate.
Right, exactly. Okay. The Bible is clear about how we are to treat our parents. The 5th commandment says, honor your father and your mother, that your days will be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. Exodus 20:12. So, in this case, you have the commandment they mentioned and the blessing attached to it, and it's repeated throughout the Old and the New Testament.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to go into the subject of talking about this on a basis of Mike going to share some insight through his world experiences and his specific experiences with his parents, more specifically with his mother.
Right.
Okay. So Mike, why don't you open up and tell us a general in terms of what this conversation should include or what it's going to look like.
Well, me and Aboop spoke early today before you got here, and I was trying to bring him on today's topic. Mm-hmm. I had saw an Instagram post this past week, and it was about a mother and son on the Instagram, mm-hmm. and the mother was saying to the son, she should have never had him, boom, 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 she should have abortion with him. Mm-hmm. And that's the first part of it. The later part, she called him, he asked, and he's grown now, he's like, you know, how you doing? What's going on? And he said, what you want? When she called, and he said, you need to honor your mother. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, you know, so they went back and forth. It was a real tough situation.
Right.
When I saw that, it gave me confirmation that we were supposed to talk about that on the podcast.
Okay.
Because I have been through that.
Okay.
In my childhood, I can remember my mom saying that to me quite often. And so the point of me wanting to come on the podcast and speak of it, because that means more people out there that's probably been through that than me, because mm-hmm. I saw the guy on Instagram. But how do you move from that? Shit is so tough.
Right.
And you know, I've never wanted to really discuss that because you don't want your mom looked at upon in a certain light. But if I can help somebody get through it, because how do I get through my transgression with my mom? It was God.
Right. And so I have a couple of questions I'm going to ask you. And, you know, so what we're really talking about, even if it wasn't physical abuse, we're talking about mental abuse.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right. And so what happens when parents abuse the child who has kept the commandment, Exodus 20:12? Want to elaborate on that?
Yeah. It bears great fruit. You know what I'm saying? God blesses that child. I like to think that I'm a witness of that.
Right.
The reason why, you know what I'm saying? Because when you talk negative to your kids and you say harsh things to your kids, it don't bear fruit positively. You know what I'm saying? Those kids normally end up in the world, you know what I'm saying, starting trouble because they didn't feel loved. Like I was saying, it don't bear that fruit. So it makes you be a better parent to your kids first and foremost, but it makes you lean on God even before you know that you're leaning on God. He had already grabbed me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not done things, but he just still covered me because he knew my situations.
Right.
So
you're saying in spite of, you have gone out and done great things, and you wasn't necessarily prepared because the person that meant the most to you have been very negative towards you.
Right.
Is that safe to say?
Yeah, that's it. In a nutshell, you know.
Okay, good. So when is it okay to do an inventory or count of the abuse? You know, when do you sit back and you calculate it and you say, well, I did this and this is what I got, and I did this and this is what I was told. So what happens in that years of relationship?
So you'll never know. I mean, like the things I went through with my mom, it just, when you go through so much, you just think that's normal, and that's the way the people parent.
Really?
You know, it wasn't until I went to college and I saw the TV show Different World in real life.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I seen Frank Longshore prepare for his daughter, Raina.
Okay.
I seen Tony, who's a Q dog who had great parents, you know what I'm saying? Cherie Howard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I seen these people come from 2-parent households and have a great life. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I realized, damn, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
This shit is not supposed to be this way. I remember I was dating this girl, Raina, and my mom, I would send her half of my Pell Grant every quarter.
Right.
So you find yourself trying to buy love.
Okay.
I sent her half of my Pell Grant every quarter, and Raina was my girlfriend. She was like, damn, man, you don't have any money? Your mom see me taking your money?
Right.
So me and Raina was at odds because I love my mom. But Raina was right.
Right.
You know? And so I think that if my mom would have put positive things in me, I wouldn't have to send her my Pell Grant to seek her approval of love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying you sent her your Pell Grant even though she didn't ask for it because you wanted her to love you.
Yeah.
And you wanted her to recognize that you loved her.
Right.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Even bought her cars and did all kind of stuff, you know?
Okay.
So, you know.
Okay. So if that's the case, why don't you, if that's been you growing up, how have it impacted you? You've finished college, you're out in the world, you have your wife, you have your kids. Has the relationship improved?
Nah, and that's sad, it hasn't. You know what I'm saying? And so I thought that, you know, the past is the past. When God blessed me with this business, I thought we can probably just grow together. But to be honest with you, it hasn't. Even when I first got this place, and I didn't know how God was going to bless it, when he was going to bless it, but I knew he was going to bless it.
Okay.
I prayed about it, and I told my mom, I said, Mom, if I buy the stuff for the sweet potato pies, would you make them for me? I'm just starting out, I don't really know. And she told me no. You know what I'm saying? So it's just been ongoing stuff like that. She said, I'll work for you, but you gotta be $10 an hour. You know what I'm saying? A lot of days I just had enough money to pay her and go get some more supplies for the next day. And it was okay because God had always had a ram in the bush. Monty Andre was right there to help me. You know what I'm saying? And Monty Sandra, them two, Sandra, Monty Andre, and Tisha, my friend Tisha.
Right.
Man, I owed them. You know what I'm saying? So when they called for me, Monty Andre has passed on, but when Tisha and Sandra call, I'm on the spot. I deliver.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they helped me keep my head above water with this business.
Right.
You know, so.
So if you had to say, where are you right today with your mom? Was it just with sweet potato pies and $10 an hour? Was that the biggest disappointment?
No, the biggest disappointment, well, I'm a college All-American in football. Mm-hmm. My mom may have come to one game out of 35, out of 30 games. Mm-hmm. And, but,
could she afford to come? Did she go anywhere else? Did she pay attention to anything else?
Yeah, I don't want to, but she went to see my brother over 100 times in prison.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a sacrifice that you choose to make.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to put my brother's stuff out there like that, man.
Right.
But what I'm trying to do is, it's not about my brother or my mom at this point.
Right.
It's about me trying to help the people that's been in these same shoes that I'm in.
Right.
And I'm trying to tell you, through all my transgressions, God's been right there. And even though my brother was always there too, he told me, hey man, why are you crying, man? Laugh at that shit and keep it moving. That my brother told me, we were real close.
Right.
And I'm so glad that he's here now. Mm-hmm. And man, he's actually taking the right role in this business.
Okay.
Making things a lot easier for me. And that's what I thought that at some point my mom would do, mm-hmm. but it never happened.
Mm-hmm. So can you help other people that need to identify, walk through this in terms of, is it, because some people have different experiences. Is it overbearing parents, or is it neglectful parents, or is it parents that penalize you for just being in their life? What do you think it is?
My situation was being penalized for being in her life. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I don't have any malice intent in my heart towards my mom. I love my mom. And I'm always gonna be respectful for my mom.
Right.
I have boundaries.
Right.
And I no longer buy love.
Right.
So my no's are my no's and my yeses are my yeses. Mm-hmm. So mm-hmm. that's what it is. So if I can help anybody, man, what I can say my mom did, she made me resilient.
Okay.
Through my upbringing, when you have people, whether mom or dad, uncle, auntie, whatever, that put on you what was put on me, the world can't hurt you. You know what I'm saying? You become tough as hell.
Right.
So I have a defensive mechanism named Mike Trigg. That's the guy.
Okay.
That's what came from my upbringing.
Okay.
From my mom.
Okay.
Mike Trigg was the guy. I studied myself approved. I had to be the best athlete, the best student. I didn't always have the best clothes, but I was gonna be clean cut, and I stole cologne from Echo Drugs and personal hygiene items, so I had to smell good.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
Right.
And every girl wanted to be with me in my mind, and every guy wanted to be like me.
Okay.
Be honest with you.
Yeah, because you had to build yourself up.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So,
yes.
And to the point where today, I'm no longer Mike Trigg, I'm Michael Trigg.
Right.
And I love the Lord.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a difference. But sometimes I want to be Mike Trigg so bad. You know what I'm saying? That dude was awesome.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But I had to put him to rest.
Right.
So I'm Michael Trigg today, man. And I love being here, man.
Okay, so are we talking about a separation? Or are we talking about a different way of communicating, a different way, different barriers? Or are we talking about with that relationship, what are the rules now? What are the rules?
With my mom.
Right.
So I haven't talked to her in a while, but if I see her, hey, how you doing?
Right.
That's it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I got this new thing that I don't go where I'm tolerated, only where I'm loved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So and that's just what it is.
Right.
I got my kids. My focus is my family.
Right.
My children.
Right.
I want to make sure that they know that they're loved.
Right.
And appreciated. You know what I'm saying? So that's my focus.
So
I can't focus on nothing else. Me and my dad got a great relationship, mm-hmm. and he's my best friend today. And we talk, man. And I lean on him a lot.
Right.
And he gives me a lot of good insight but this is foreign to him because he had great parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So he can't understand. He can't put his feet in my shoes. But all he can say is, "Hey, boy, I love you. I'm proud of you." Right. And it's sincere when he do say that.
Right. So what got you here to talk about it on in this platform, in this setting? What brought you to this, to talk about your situation with your mom?
Because I'm an open book anyway.
Right.
I try to be. My losses, I want to be lessons for everybody else.
Right.
When I saw a guy, I seen it on Instagram.
Right.
And it gave me confirmation it's okay for me to talk about it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And God said it's okay for me to talk about it because he knows my heart. It's not intent to bring shame or harm to my mom.
Right.
It's not done with any malice intent. It's doing for growth of other people out there.
And to help you, right?
Right. It's therapeutic.
Right, therapeutic. Right.
Yeah,
and so how you think she's going to take this segment? Do she listen to the podcast?
I don't really know, but I've never lied on my mom.
Right.
So whether she take it the way it's intended for her, it really don't matter because I'm only doing things that I think that will help others, help myself. So I can't worry about how she would take it because if that's the case, I'd have wrote a book a long time ago.
Right.
But I refused to write a book because I thought it would hurt my mom.
Right.
So I don't do anything with malice intent.
Right. Okay.
You know,
Okay. So if someone goes to her and say, hey, you might need to watch this and hear this, which the accounts that you mentioned, would she be able to relate to those accounts?
I know she can, I think that she would have to be honest with herself and say, you know, like how I am as a parent, if my kids bring me something, I just ask them, just do it in a respectful manner. Right. I gotta say, you know what? I apologize. Right. I'm sorry. Right. And I'm not perfect. No, my mom's not perfect. Right. But me and my mom, I've written my mom many letters, and not one time has she really apologized or said anything about the things that I've been through with her. You know what I'm saying? So I've apologized to my children countless times because I'm not always right. Right. And, you know? As parents, we find ourselves being wrong a lot because we're learning as we go. Yeah, and my thing with my kids, I'm guilty of trying to plan their life out. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want the hardship for them. But I had to get out the way, let them, find their own way. Experience it for themselves. Especially Mike, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah. Right. And so you learned a lot based on, your mom had been a teaching tool, right? Oh, yeah, you have learned a lot from that experience. Yeah. Right. And so let's talk about the losses in that kind of relationship, because there's some losses. There's a loss as a son and a mother and grandkids with the son. You know, there's losses. But I don't do that. My mom has always been pretty good to my kids. Okay. That they're on a separate relationship. Right. So I don't tell them, they don't go over there with her. No. My kids are grown. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Good. So I don't do that. You know, I would never do that, you know. So, but do your kids know how you feel about your mother? I think, DJ, Mike. Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, I talk to them most about it. You know, when I have a hardship, I lean on those two guys the most. Right. My daughter Snuggie, Mikhail, the oldest girl, I talk to her about it. Maya too sometimes. Right. The younger ones, I really don't Okay. Yeah. Just to give them a perspective, right? Yeah. Okay. DJ, he just know me like that. What's up? You know what I'm saying? We just kind of like that. So what about the newfound relationship? Is this something that's permanent? Or is this a temporary? Is there a opportunity to build a better and a new relationship? Is this something that you want? I just think I don't really worry about that. I haven't really given it any thought, to be honest with you, because we have had conversation and things I thought would get better, and it's for a moment, but it goes back to being what it is. Okay. You know. So. To answer that question, like I said, my focus is my children. Okay. And in this place right here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some solutions. Let's talk about how does a person avoid this type of relationship? A child that's in that situation, how do they avoid it, and what are some of the signs and symptoms in that relationship? Okay. So when I was a kid, from first grade to ninth, I was terrible in school. Okay. Because I would act out just for any kind of attention. Right. But you got to realize that came from the lack of love I received. So when I got to high school. My brother was a pretty good student,
Right.
a good athlete, and then he got in the system. So I just said, and this is my thought process at fucking 13. I said, my mom can't have 2 kids in the system. I made a conscious effort to change my life for my mom.
Okay.
You understand?
That's very good.
So when I got to Gaither High School, I had 3 black guidance counselors, Miss Northern, Miss Smith, and Miss Booth. It was over.
Okay.
They pushed me. It was over. I knew I was going to college.
Okay.
I was a good football player, good basketball player. And
So you still was doing things for your mom because you didn't want to stress her.
right. Anytime, it was never no embarrassment on my end.
Right.
Anytime the coach said, who need help with this right here, I always raised my hand. I went to Gaither. So
Right.
Gaither's in Carroll. It was a money school.
Right.
The 4 money schools in high school was Brandon, Bloomingdale, Gaither, and Plant.
Okay.
So they always had the resources. And I just take the burden off my mom. I didn't really want to raise my hand, but I was just like, hey man, my mom can't do it, coach.
Right.
And they would send me to camps, all kind of shit, buy my shoes, everything.
Right.
So buy my school clothes if needed be, you know what I'm saying? My mom
Right.
just couldn't do it.
Right. Okay.
My brother was my mom's focus.
Okay.
And she was taking care of him, so that's what it was.
Okay. So she could do it, she just didn't want to do it for you.
I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm saying her focus is my brother.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Just put it like that.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so I got you.
Right.
So you said 1st through 8th grade,
Yeah.
that's what you got from her. You were acting out because it was showing lack of love from your mother. So what else? What are the other signs? I mean, that was your sign. What would be her signs, that made you feel that you wasn't being loved?
I think my mom had us so young, you know what I'm saying? It was hard. She had us at 15 and 16. So that's extremely young. And but she did it was some good things from 1st to 8th grade. Now we lived in the housing projects. My mom would always organize parties. You know what I'm saying? We had Halloween parties, Christmas parties,
Right.
Valentine's Day parties, and our projects, housing projects. So, you know what I'm saying? It was some good things. It wasn't all bad.
Right.
But it's just the things that, I should never had you, should have had abortion, and you're gonna be nothing, you're going to prison, that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
But I have to say, I have to probe a little bit more. There's a reason for her saying that, because people don't just say that. I mean, I know you're telling the truth, but have she ever came out and had a conversation with you as to, I say these things because I know they hurt you, or what? What's the reason?
that's the only way it could be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because saying those things is not gonna help me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Right. But I'm saying some people have reasons to say those things.
I don't think I ever gave her a reason. I know I was, a troublesome kid from grade school to junior high. And when I figured it out,
Right.
I figured it out.
Okay.
Say those things after discipline? Like after you do something wrong?
Yeah, she probably would, She would probably say that, you know what I'm saying, and then tear my butt up, you know what I'm saying, something like that,
But not when you're doing good. Right?
No.
So it's just out of anger, out of emotion.
Yeah, and women are emotional. And she's a single parent.
Well, I never whipped my kid a day in his life.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And,
Well, we grew up different though, you know what I'm saying?
But what I'm
that
saying-
was pretty common in our
not
culture.
all women the same. You
Right.
guys said,
No. I'm saying like out of anger, he said,
Yeah.
and emotion. And that's what I said, but
What I will say that, to me, that doesn't get to the core of it. It's something else. Because kids act out all the time.
Right.
Kids, that's a part of growing pains and growing up. So
Right.
what charged her to show you less than love is the real question. And why was it? And it seemed like there was an extreme difference between you and the other son.
right. Well,
So that's really the focal there.
So
in that.
I don't want to get into that.
Okay. Okay.
But I mean, yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that she loved his dad. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I didn't know it at the time, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. So,
So that's
And I
that's
think,
the thing.
if I was being honest with myself, I prevented her from being with him. Me
Okay.
being born, not being his.
Okay.
But I don't really. That's a whole.
Okay,
that's not,
okay, because that's not the real reason. Because regardless, you were her son, like the other, like.
Yes, sir. Babe, what's up, baby? Hall of Famer right there, FAMU, baseball.
Yeah, I met him.
I
met him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the key. I wanted to emphasize that even though there was 2 sons, but both of you still was her child.
Right.
That's the key. Right.
Yeah, but.
So okay, so I think I done probed enough. I think we can talk about
the thing that like one of my close friends. I had a lot of women in my life. And he said to me one time, and he pissed me off. He said, man, I think the relationship with your mom, that's why you have a relationship with women the way you do. And he was right. And I later told him he was right. But I said, look here, motherfucker, don't be analyzing me. You know what I'm saying? But he was spot on.
But I have to admit that those are the questions I was really asking.
Right.
So now.
was, and
So tell us a little bit about that. How do you see women based on your
it's hard. I don't trust.
You don't trust?
I don't trust like that, and it's hard because the one woman I did trust, you know what I'm saying, is, you understand, it's just been really hard, man. I don't want to go into great detail about all that stuff. I just want the people that's going through this to understand, you better find God. Okay. And even everything I've been through, everything I've been through with my mom, my father's situation in life. This is what I feel. This is how good God has been to me. He don't owe me anything. Right. But an opportunity to say thank you.
I agree.
That's it. That's all you owe me. I mean, I've been truly blessed, man. I mean, to obtain the things I have and do the things that I've and come in contact with the people and change their lives.
Right. And so I'm gonna ask you this, Big Mike.
Yeah.
Speak to your mom and tell her how you feel so we can round this up and move on.
I love my mom, always will, you know what I'm saying? But, we always had a strained relationship for the majority part of my life. And if you see this podcast, I just pray that you realize that I love you, I'm not bashing you, but I'm trying to be a help, and if you want to have a conversation, we can.
That's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when you out there, you're having these children. That's why I'm so proud of my sons and daughters. They don't have kids, but we talk about it all the time. You got to plan it out. You got to ask these questions. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have these hiccups. Yes. I had kids. I put my kids in some tough situations. But through God, He just had a call on my life and my descendants. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they made it through, college educated. Right. So I'm truly blessed about that, man.
So that's great. So you're deep, Mike. I mean, you got more than just barbecue sauce on you. You're really deep.
Yeah.
And I want to say you are my good friend, and I know I have seen your mom and met her, and we love you. Love her.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You mentioned God has been with you along the way. Since when do you feel like you've known that?
So when you're a kid, I think when you're 12, you're accountable for your own actions. But he was there all my life. Right. You know what I'm saying? So no. So that's the goodness of God. Right. Because you went out there and you're thinking that you're getting away with something. You're not getting away with shit. That's the grace. Yeah. That's the grace.
That's the grace.
You understand? So I'm gonna tell you, I had this friend, I ain't gonna call no names. I was at college, undergrad. My friend called me, hey man, I got a credit card, let's go, man, let's go. Come on, man, I'm coming get you. Where you at, man? Why you not here yet? And then God said to me, just like we having a conversation, he said, Michael, I said, sir, we having a conversation. He said, if you partake in that, I'm gonna take my hands off you. You're gonna get what you're gonna get. Just like that. So my friend got there with the credit card, I was just laughing. I said, dude, man, my struggle's over, bro. I said, I'm gonna graduate my first degree in 2 weeks, man. I'm done, man. I'm good, man.
Very good.
He said, you sure? I said, I'm positive. Now, my college roommate called me the next year, the same situation. He said, Trey, I got a credit card, how can I use it? I got a credit card, how can I use it? I said, find the biggest pair of scissors you can and cut that motherfucker up. Right. I say, dog, you finna graduate. and you go use that credit card, bro, your degree gonna be worthless because you have a felony when they catch you.
Right.
Can't get a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's my relationship with God. I've always, if I did do something, I'm gonna tell you one more story. At Fort Valley State, my friend Marcus Clayton, God bless the dead, he was running track, and you know, we don't have the fundings that the University of Georgia or Baylor where my kids go. So he was running track in tennis shoes, and he said, oh, I'm gonna run in the 40s, 49 in the 400, getting trike spikes tomorrow. So when he got there, he was low on the totem pole. The coach said, I have no spikes for you. And it offended me. So I went to Macon Mall and wrote a check for like 2 pair of spikes for him. I didn't have no money in the bank, but nothing came of the check, you understand? That was God's grace again.
Right.
And I gave it to him. I gave those cleats to him. So it's like kind of like a Robin Hood thing, man. You know, I've done things and try to be a blessing to others, and God has blessed me for having that mindset to do that. You know, so that's what it's about, man.
That's great. So we're going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Right. And so I hope you enjoyed this episode here. No losses, just lessons. And today we talked about when a son and a mother have a strange relationship, when they actually have had a history over time and it's been very tumultuous, rocky, whatever, and that you come to a point in your life, you want better, you still committed to the relationship, you still love, but you need a better confirmation of the relationship, and you need also, both parties need to meet in the middle and talk about how they're going to go from this point on in a loving and a kind relationship. So thank you for listening. Saba Baptiste.
Mike Trigg.
And we'll see you in
2 weeks.
2 weeks, the next episode. So goodbye, Tampa Bay.
Yo.